Welcome back to LTR Gaming, and I am Troy. How everybody doing this morning, gamers? Shout out to everybody that came through yesterday for my stream. It was awesome, and we talked a lot about Grand Theft Auto and Rockstar as a company in whole. And listen, the franchise is very dear to me, and I want it to do well. I want it to succeed, but I also feel like Rockstar as a company has just been sitting on their laurels when it comes to this particular franchise and other franchises that we really enjoy, that we wish that they would put out on more frequent basis. And like I shared yesterday, it's been over close to a decade at this point in time since GTA 5's been out. It's been on several iterations of consoles at this point in time, and is currently coming to the next gen. And you guys already know how I feel about that. We've been asking for GTA 6. When that's coming out. It should be no reason why we have to wait decades in between to when this game comes out for current gen consoles. But then we were told that there's a Grand Theft Auto remaster coming out. And a lot of us thought there was going to be a remake. And there's a difference between a remaster and a remake. When you do a remake, is what Blue Point Games did to Demon Souls, or Dark Souls, excuse me. Maybe I'm getting those titles wrong. Correct me in the comment box below. But when that game released for the PS5, while I've played those games on earlier generations of console, to see the new iteration of that game on new hardware made completely from the ground up, I was like, great. If this is what Rockstar is going to do with this Grand Theft Auto trilogy that they're calling it, great, I'm all for it. But remember, guys, we already had this trilogy that's already on set to come out. We already had it already. It already came out for prior generations. And now we're getting it again, over a decade later. And listen, I understand companies are in the business to make as much money profitable for their, market share, and for the chairmen and for their particular business. I totally get it. They're not in this industry, to make friends. But at the end of the day, you do have to appease the people who are supporting your particular business. And at this point in time, between Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, what have Rockstar been making? What have they been doing with all of this time? What's brewing, right, for them to present to us to be content with? Like, hey, okay, this is a brand, this is a company that we can continue to depend on to put out quality games. Grand Theft Auto line has been okay. I told you guys I don't like it, but there's millions of other people that still enjoy it. And I'm fine with that. But if you continue to support a company that is just resting on their laurels of what they've done yesterday, and you're not realizing that this is a what have you done for me type of world and industry we live in, then they're going to keep nickeling and diming us with this trilogy that we're about to receive. Now, this is all speculation, and I'm going to be reading an article to you guys coming from a particular website that I've looked up that is pretty much reputable, I must say, VG247.com. And, there's been speculation that, listen, this trilogy, now it's going to be coming to last gen consoles and current gen consoles. But if you got a current gen console like Xbox Series X or S or the PS5, there is a possibility that you will be paying $70 for this. Now, this isn't stamped in stone. Rockstar hasn't come out and said this. This is just speculation, but the speculation more likely than not can be true. And I just want folks to have a open mind and understanding that, listen, you don't have to buy this. Now, listen, if you haven't played any of these games in this trilogy that we're about to get, then great, go out and get it. More likely than not, you're going to enjoy it. Knock yourself out. But if you're someone like me, who more likely than not own digital copies of this game, or any of these games, or bought the prior trilogy that already came out for last gen, what's the point of this? This is just obviously another cash grab to us. So let's get into this particular article. And I think it's fair and honest that we have this open dialect conversation about, the fact that these games are going up in price, apparently, with the next generation of gaming that we're about to get into, that we're about, 2 years into at this point in time. If the cost is going to be going up, the quality is going to have to go up. And if the quality is going to have to go up, the time frame in which these games are needing to be released are going to have to be more frequent than what we've been receiving. Decades upon decades of waiting, 5 years to create a video game, that's just not respectable. That's just not acceptable going forward. With the technology that we have, and some people say, oh, it takes a ton of people, it takes a large team, it takes a lot of artists, and I totally understand that. That's why you get to create millions. You get to create a game that and grants you millions of dollars and billions of dollars to go into your company to be able to employ these people to make these games. So miss me when I'm just not content with just accepting the fact that folks just want to say, well, it takes a lot of people to create these games. Well, you make billions of dollars at this point, Rockstar. There should be no reason why we should be waiting a decade for a game. But anyway, at any rate, let's get into what's being reported by VG247.com. And again, take this once again with a grain of salt, but this is what us gamers do. We speculate. And websites like this speculate, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we all should be questioning and looking at Rockstar with a raised brow. Like, what are y'all doing? So, GTA, the Trilogy Definitive Edition will cost $70. Physical versions coming December. Report. It looks like Rockstar may be ready to push Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, as a premium title, and box version may be coming in December. Rockstar has finally announced Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy Definitive Edition, a game collecting GTA 5, GTA Vice City, GTA San Andreas, released in one collection, but the official details from Rockstar about the title remain a little thin. Of course it does. Luckily, the worst kept secret of 2021 continues to spill more of its details, even after its official announcement. First up, we've got an inclination as to what the collection price may end up being. Retailer Base.com opened pre-orders for the Definitive Edition collection last week, with a premium price tag listed at $70 US, 70 euros in Europe, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. Very interesting. Right now, these are just reports. The listings could have been published as placeholders or similar, but we won't be surprised if it ends up being actual final price for the collection. After all, back in March 2021, Take-Two once again clarified its stance on raising game prices and reckoned that we as consumers are ready for the $70 games. This follows the precedent set by first-party companies and platform holders like Sony 2, the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One versions of the game, though are listed at $60 and €60 price points. Secondly, we've seen the physical version of Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy. The Definitive Edition may hit shelves by December as per PPE. Last-gen versions of the collection will be out on shelves by Christmas, with other box version of the game landing in 2022. The Polish publication sources state that the PS4, Xbox One, Switch version of the compilation and release physical on December 7, with new game versions not coming until later. As per the official announcement, we've heard that the collection is coming later this year for consoles and PSC, with mobile release of the game coming in 2022. This shows Rockstar is willing to stagger the release to some degree. Anyway, so we wouldn't be surprised to see the physical and digital version get an uneven release too. Grand Theft Auto Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, will be released later this year on the PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, Rockstar Game Launcher on PC. Specific release dates and pricings have not yet been announced. And like I said, guys, we got to take this with a grain of salt, right? This isn't like definitive. This isn't absolute. This isn't, concrete. But, I mean, at the end of the day, okay, if you're going to charge $70 for this, I would want this to be an actual, I mean, not just a remaster, a remake. Because if this is what we're going to be getting far as, the experience of the fidelity, this doesn't look too much different than what we already have right now that you can play right now on the PS3. If you have a PS3 still, on the PSP, on the Xbox. I mean, listen, while this game is a great game and it holds very dear to a lot of people, I just think at the end of the day, like, is this enough? Is this enough? Could we call this a remastering, or are they just really, taking advantage of the consumer's nostalgia of this particular franchise? I mean, we still haven't seen any gameplay. December's around the corner, y'all. We're in October. We're about to be in November. December's what? 2.5 months away? We still haven't seen any gameplay. We still haven't seen any screenshots. So, if this isn't a big title AAA game that Rockstar's releasing, and this is just something to hold us over and keep us quiet until we get some screenshots of GTA 6, then why haven't we seen any kind of gameplay of this game yet for next-gen title? What's going to be next-gen about this actual game? What's going to be next-gen experience about this experience? Especially if it's coming to last-gen. If this is coming to the PS4, then what's going to be the difference between the PS4 version and the PS5 version? Like, there's so many open-ended questions that Rockstar has continued to leave open for us to continue to speculate on. And I feel like we as the consumers, we're not asking the right questions, or do we even care at this point in time? Now look at the screenshot. This looks beautiful. This looks beautiful. But I can play this beautiful already on a PS3. I can play this beautiful already on a PC. We do know that if you have a PC and you play these games, you can mod games on PC. You can mod this game to look completely different than what it looked when it was shipped from Rockstar. And in some cases, look better than what Rockstar has delivered to you at the retail price and what you bought it for. Shout out to my PC modders and gamers. But this is a hell of a screenshot if you look at this. But I can play this and get this screenshot already. So if you're going to charge me $60 for this game, what's going to be the new experience? If it's going to look like this, y'all can keep it. Why would you want to buy this if you haven't played it before? Now, if you haven't, again, I have to put this out there. If you haven't played this game, any of the GTA games that's going to be coming in this trilogy, if you haven't played it, of course, get it. But if you played this before, what are you buying it for? And not only that, gamers today, they're a bit fickle. These kind of graphics, they want the latest and greatest stuff today. I don't know if they noticed that, but people want to play the latest and greatest stuff today. They want to play the top of the line games that look the best and have the best experiences. No one wants to play a pixelated Grand Theft Auto. No one wants to play a Grand Theft Auto that got the animated players have blocks for hands, blocks for feet, their mouths barely move, the synchronization is off. We're in 2021. We're dealing with some of the greatest and best hardware that gaming have right now available, at least console-wise. Because you can always go up a tier higher with PC, because you can mod PCs to your liking, to your heart's content. But why would you be content with that if that's what they're going to have to offer? $70 is a lot of money. $70 is a lot of money. And listen, we're dealing with a pandemic. We're dealing with a pandemic, guys. So to charge $70, if they do, would be a bit greedy. Wouldn't you say so? I mean, just wouldn't gamers say so? But are we going to vote with our wallet at the end of the day? Or is it worth paying $60 to go down memory lane with all the nostalgia without needing to hook up your PS3 or your PS2 to experience some of these titles? We're playing games that came out on the PS2, guys, and the PS3. And again, I'm not against these games. I'm not against them being played. There's an entire generation of gamers that may not have ever played this version of this game. It might be new to them. But if Rockstar is choosing or thinking that charging $60 is the way to go, or $70 is the way to go, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. And we don't know when GTA 6 is coming out. Could we get a release date for that first? Can we get a screenshot? Can we get any kind of information on it? Guys, we already had a Grand Theft Auto trilogy that released. This is the same trilogy that was released in October 17th, 2005, guys. So if they're not going to do a remaster or a remake, a real remake, I would prefer a remake rather than a remaster, because in a remaster they really don't do shit. I would prefer a real remake if you're going to put this trilogy out. We already have this trilogy available, and it came out for the Xbox, the PlayStation 2, and PC. And actually, you can get it right now if you look on Amazon and eBay. It's selling for like $79, $80. I'm just saying, guys, we got to think with our heads and use our wallets to be more understanding of how we spend our money if we want to be respected in this industry as consumers. Consume the entertainment, consume the product, but make sure that you're getting your dollar's worth at the end of the day. And again, I get it. We're still in the pandemic. A lot of folks are still staying home to some degree. And it's like you're looking for any kind of entertainment, any kind of thing to bring joy to your life. And I totally get that. But don't be swindled when you don't have to be swindled, especially if you don't know what you're getting. We still don't know what this trilogy looks like. And until you find out and see exactly what this trilogy looks like, I would urge you, before you pre-order it, don't buy it. Don't pre-order it. Let Rockstar show you what you're getting. And then if it's what you want, get what you want. I'm Troy. This is LTR Gaming. Thanks for watching the video, hanging out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video. Catch you guys in the next